Hey, Cyberbrats, I've missed you so much. It feels so good to be back. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this up and coming channel. However, I am ready to dive into this rabbit hole about Alabama Barker. Okay, she has piqued my interest recently, mostly out of concern and just being a casual observing bystander. So there has been something completely off about Miss Alabama, and I'm not just talking about her name. So if you don't know about Alabama, you're probably employed. Congratulations, seriously. Alabama is Travis Barker's daughter, and Travis Barker is married to Kourtney Kardashian. So she's truthfully the definition of a Nepo baby. You look up Nepo baby, and her picture pops up. So she is the epitome of privilege and gets a lot of leeway to do whatever she wants. And if you know anything about my child exploitation series, you know that's never a good thing. So, what first sparked my concern for Alabama was I was watching Antonia Garza's new podcast, which is pretty good. And she's a former beauty guru. She started this podcast where she talks about all different types of things in her life, and she talks about attending LA parties, that she often sees Alabama out drinking with a bunch of older men at parties in LA. And when I heard that, I was like, what? Excuse me, you seen what? Now, Alabama is very similar to Bad Baby in a way where they're both white girls who don't want to be themselves and have infiltrated their way into Black culture in dating Black men. They're similar but very different in a way where Alabama has been giving everything in her life. She's a Nepo baby from the suburbs. Danielle got it out the mud. Like, she didn't come for money, she earned her family money. Now, as similar and different as they were friends at one point. They were friends, they were close. Now, Alabama decided to have no morals and stab a knife in Bad Baby's back by sleeping with Bad Baby's deadbeat baby daddy. Who would want to do that? For what reason? I don't know why. Maybe someone with two brain cells. Have I introduced you to the case study of Alabama Barker? So Alabama actually started making music at a young age, making cheesy love songs that other kids her age would listen to. And this is relevant because all of a sudden she went from this rich white girl, suburban Nepo queen, to rapping with a black accent and copying the mannerisms and accessories of a rapper like King Von or Little Durk or something. She switched up faster than a man after you reject them. She was acting like a completely different person. Every time you seen her in the media, she had to be around Black people, using them as her background characters, using them as an aesthetic, using them as a fantasy. Alabama seems to have no authentic personality or identity of her own. And that's where you really see her mirror the Kardashian pipeline, where it's just one Black man after another that they're dating and populating with, which is so crazy to see because when did that ever go well for any of them? And it really seems like her family neglects her. They don't really keep an eye on her, they're not guiding her in the right direction, they're not parenting her, and she just seems to be able to do and get away with whatever she wants. And I say that because why is this little girl allowed to be partying and drinking with older men whenever she wants? Mind you, Alabama Barker is 19 years old. She's not legal to be drinking, especially with older dudes. Going around dating whoever, out late, partying, just doing whatever on the streets of LA, and her parents are just whatever about it. She's also constantly having random strangers over in her home on a daily basis. Like, it's the hangout spot for her to meet and hang out with random people. If you're wondering what it is Alabama does, I really don't know. I cannot answer that question because I don't know what she does. She sits in her room and does the same face of makeup over and over and over again, brutalizing her bleach blonde hair flat ironing it and dyeing it over and over and over again with extensions. And she sits in her room putting on makeup to go out and be a hooligan while talking about nonsense and nothing that truly matters. Okay, so why are we even talking about Alabama in the first place? How is she relevant? What is going on? So, Bad Baby, Danielle Bergoli, goes on live one day and she spills the tea. She tells us exactly what's been going on with Alabama and her baby daddy. You guys should really check out the video on our channel called Bad Baby's Disturbing Childhood Ruined Her. And that video will tell you everything you need to know about Miss Bergoli. On the other hand, what you do need to know is that Danielle has been with a man named Levon, and he has been nothing short but a disgrace to all man in humanity. So this man has been physically abusive to Danielle, even though she's a new mother battling cancer. He's cheated on her. He is just absolutely awful in every way, shape, or form. And Miss Alabama over here, for some reason, whatever reason, because Alabama's a pick me, because Alabama doesn't know how to stay in her place. For context, Bad Baby and Alabama have been friends since they were 15, and she's been introduced to Levon prior. Would hang out. They were cool. So for Alabama to be a sneaky little snake and start hooking up with her own friend's baby daddy, who doesn't even treat her right, is insane. It's madness. It doesn't make logical sense. In what world? Why would you do that? Why would you do something like that? Bad Baby starts putting the puzzle pieces together slowly when she finds a parking ticket from Alabama's residence. When someone drives up to her house, they get a ticket at the gate. Bad Baby finds Alabama's ticket in her car. She asks Levon about it, he lies. She asks Alabama about it, she also lies. I think the worst lie she told was that she didn't know that Levon was Danielle's baby daddy, even though all three of them had previously hung out and met in the past. Alabama wants to claim she did not know that it was Danielle's baby daddy. Get this, even though Danielle's full government name is tatted on his neck. Like, the delusional lies are insane. And if that wasn't bad enough, if Levon in Alabama sneaking around behind Danielle's back wasn't bad enough, not only is Levon physically abusing Bad Baby, Alabama claims that Levon threw a bottle at her head. So not only is he physically abusing his child's mother, but even his side pieces too? Like, when does it end? You guys are probably wondering what was the aftermath of this entire situation. And it was gruesome. It was bloody. It was a crime scene. They both wrote diss tracks about each other. However, in Bad Baby's diss, she exposed a lot of personal information about Alabama, including Alabama having an abortion from Tyga. Bad Baby even claiming she saw the sonogram, which is crazy because how would Bad Baby see something or know something like that? But we do know this is LA and everybody talks about everybody. And if you don't know anything about Tyga, he's a known predator in the industry. He dated Kylie when she was like 12 or 14, had her name tatted. It's also weird because Alabama and Kylie are related by marriage, and here Tyga and Alabama are sleeping around raw. getting pregnant and abortions. And this completely sounds like something Tyga would do. It sounds like Tyga would do something like this because Alabama has been known to be getting around an industry easy to get with. And Tyga, being the predator that he is, it makes sense that he would try and get with Alabama, having close proximity to her. This is insane. Why is he allowed and able to do this? I know that Alabama be getting around. She's a grown adult. She can make her own choices and should be held accountable for her actions. However, I think Tyga is a predator who sinks his teeth into younger girls, girls who are lost, lacking guidance, low self-esteem, needing of acceptance, sexually promiscuous, haven't learned how to respect themselves yet, and he sees it, he targets it, and he exploits it to his advantage. And I just have to point that out. But yes, Bad Baby goes on live and she continues to trash talk Alabama. Bad Baby is, she honestly, you could tell is coming from a place of so much hurt, so much confusion, so much betrayal, just so much sadness, defeat, even. And she really spills the tea on Alabama. So she talks about how, in their world, Alabama is basically the local bop, to put it quite simply. Like, her being this homewrecker and sleeping with other people's men is just no surprise. Which, in my opinion, this is not good. This is not good information. Alabama, what is going on? Like, something needs to be fixed here. Very bold of Alabama to do something like this to Bad Baby, because Bad Baby is influential. She just put you on blast on her Instagram page that has 16.5 million followers. Everyone knows the dirt that you've done and all your business now. Alabama doesn't use her brain over some D who was abusive to you. Bad Baby's well connected, knows a lot of people in LA. So of course a lot of information is getting to her. She even has a picture from Alabama's nail tech of Alabama's toes with fungus. She knows that apparently Alabama's on Ozempic. Just so many personal details because Alabama doesn't have any real friends. So of course her business is just being spread around.
You need to act like a 19-year-old. Stay in a 19-year-old's place. You shouldn't be out here fucking people's baby daddies. She fucked Levon twice, and Lord only knows how many times she sucked dick. And she kept lying to me about it. Levon, her and Levon were on group FaceTime, and Levon kept telling her, "Why are you lying, Alabama? Be real." Every time I asked her how many times I didn't ask her, did y'all fuck? I asked her, how many times did y'all fuck? Because I knew they fucked. Because first of all, I know Levon when he's drunk, and I know this hoe is easy as a fucking plate of rice.
She even says Alabama goes to the strip club. And when she throws a bag, she tells the dancers, she asked the dancers if she could split the bag, the money she thrown and gave for their services at the establishment, and asked for half of the portion. What? This girl is a menace everywhere she goes. Like, doesn't use any common sense, has any respect for people. Like, this is the case study of Alabama because this girl is unhinged. And oh my gosh, guys, important detail. I didn't even realize this because Bad Baby keeps calling Levon her baby daddy, but this is actually her husband. They're actually married on paper. So Alabama was, in fact, a mistress.
Attention seeker. You're an attention seeker, and that's why you fuck other girls' men. And I've been knowing about you fucking other girls' men. You've been bragging to me and Talon about you fucking other girls' men. And when we told you that shit wasn't cute, we stopped hanging with you because you wouldn't stop.
So there was a domestic dispute between Bad Baby and Levon. Danielle was running into the room and Levon was chasing her, and her hand was slammed into the door and her hand was really injured. She calls her ex-boyfriend Sosa, Chief Keef, who was sleeping with her while she was a minor, by the way. And I guess she goes over there to take cover, to get away from Lavon's crazy, abusive ways. So apparently, that was the reason why Lavon went and hooked up with Alabama. Bad Baby says she didn't even hook up or nothing intimate happened between her and Sosa that night, which I guess makes sense. You just had a domestic dispute with your husband, your hands hurt, you just want to get away from him, whatever. So Lavon, being the trash that he is, goes and hooks up with Alabama. And it's sad to watch how deep the manipulation is going, because Danielle goes on to explain that this is her karma because when she was 16, she was preyed on by a 28-year-old who had a girlfriend and 6 kids. Yeah, so she was 16 hooking up with a 28-year-old. That's not consensual. That man preyed on her. And she's staying with Lavon because this is her karma for what she did when she was 16 being preyed on. It's quite like, it's just how bad men can damage you.
I was 16. I didn't know no better. I was 16, fucking a 28-year-old that had a girlfriend and had a kid with the girl and had 6 other kids. He was 28 years old. I got my karma. Oh, I got my karma. Oh, I got my karma. Oh, yes, I did. This is my karma. And that's why I'm staying with Lavon. That's why I'm staying with Lavon, because this is just my karma.
This shows how giving your heart to the wrong man who's abusive can completely alter your entire world. Bad Baby sitting here explaining to millions of people why she deserved for her husband to cheat on her multiple times, who's abusive to her, while she was going through postpartum and cancer. And this is a very normal thing for a lot of women. All right, so after Bad Baby's first diss track towards Alabama called Overcooked, no visual, just the audio, and Alabama responds with a diss. And I'm not gonna lie, it was good. Her diss was good. It was a good diss.
Couldn't believe what my eyes seen scrolling up on IG. Can't believe I heard a diss track. This hoe don't like me. Dog bitches doing all that barking but won't bite me. I ain't gotta lift a finger if she try to fight me. Baby off them perks down bad. Crying on the gram, bitch, you going outside. Her man want me, now this bitch bout to crash. Think you doing something cause you got a little bag, bitch, go vote in.
I hate to admit it, Alabama ate. She ate on that song. Her ghostwriters did phenomenal. Even though her wardrobe was crazy during the music video, like, I still can't figure out what it was she was wearing. Alabama's diss mostly consisted of throwing it in Bad Baby's face that her man wanted her, but she didn't know that it was her baby daddy. And she's really flexing the fact that her man wanted her. And it's like, girl, dudes be cheating. Like, are you geeked or what? You could tell, like, she's proud of herself or something, because she truly is proud of herself or something. She also says some very random things, like saying how Bad Baby's best friend was sleeping with her baby daddy behind her back, and that Bad Baby didn't know about it. But it's like, this is all hearsay. How do we really know? She even like clowns Bad Baby for constantly taking Lavon back, which was probably like her best dig, because I mean, it is sloppy work. Like, we just all want to see Danielle do so much better. Alabama also says that Lavon is still in her phone, so meaning that he still contacts her, which I kind of believe, because that man probably be stressing over a place to stay because him and Bad Baby probably keep fighting. So then, Alabama, even though she dead wrong, never once took accountability for her actions, comes out as the victim. That she's being hate trained, all because she didn't know who someone was. That even though she's been given endless privilege and wealth, anything she could imagine, her life in the palm of her hands to do whatever she wants to fulfill her dreams and potential in her life, this is how she chooses to spend her time. She still needs to screw other people's husbands and mans behind their back and sleep with a bunch of men she has no business sleeping with, but doesn't want to be held accountable for anything that she does. So, of course, after Alabama's diss, Bhad Bhabie made another diss track. The name of the diss track is Miss Whitman. Bhad Bhabie really aired some things out. She talks about how Travis actually wanted Kim Kardashian but settled for Kourtney. Bhad Bhabie used one of Kanye's beats or something, so she had to get Kanye's approval on the song, and he cleared it and even said Bhad Bhabie was the better rapper. And I'm just pretty sure he did that to be petty because he does not like the Kardashians. So somehow Soulja Boy gets brought into this, and in Bhad Bhabie's diss track, she says Alabama and Soulja Boy hooked up. Well, Soulja Boy doesn't like this. This pisses him off. So Soulja Boy gets on live and starts saying that Danielle tried to do intimate acts on him at his house and that her bikini bottom stinks, and starts laughing and making light of her domestic violence situation with LaVon, which is absolutely disgusting. There's some things you don't joke about, and that is one of them. Even Alabama didn't make light of or talk about domestic violence in her diss track. There's just lines you do not cross. But that's the type of person Soulja Boy is. He's distasteful. He's disgusting. He's gross. After Soulja Boy says that, Danielle responds by saying she was 16 at the time she was at his house. So that's even crazier. So Soulja Boy, you openly went on your live and admitted to having a 16-year-old girl over and talking about her bikini bottom odor and how she tried to be intimate with you. You're just openly incriminating yourself because that is your normal everyday life. You see nothing wrong with that. This goes to show another predatory man who doesn't care about age, doesn't really care about consent, has nasty, awful things to say about women who have proximity to Alabama and are being intimate with her and using her. None of it's okay. It's not a good look. The whole Tyga getting Alabama pregnant thing, Tyga responded by saying that was the dumbest ish he ever heard. However, this is such a specific rumor, like, and if it wasn't true, I'm sure Alabama would be able to sue Bhad Bhabie for publicly saying this. So, but also it's not hard to believe that he would do something like that. So I guess it's just left up to interpretation. The video is called Crash Out. Knockoff Alabama impersonator in the music video doing her makeup in the mirror. Bhad Bhabie comes up, puts a bag over her head, kidnaps her, throws her in the trunk, is talking a bunch of mess about her, rapping about her, and letting her have it. Bhad Bhabie even says that Alabama had a couple more diss tracks up her sleeve, but Alabama's manager told her not to drop them because they weren't good. Yikes. However, I think it's good that Alabama decided not to keep dissing Bhad Bhabie because I feel like Alabama kind of got buried. Like, she was completely put on blast. Why drag it out any longer? Because you just don't look good and you're dead wrong in the situation? I think really the only thing Alabama was mad about was that she was too embarrassed to go out and party while all this was happening. And that's all she lives for and likes to do. So I think that was the only thing that really affected her. And it's so crazy because Alabama's mom was actually like Miss USA or something, a professional like roller skater, like accomplished all these things, was a play bunny, a beautiful, remarkable woman. And then, Travis, he's a very talented artist and whatever. And Alabama, here you have Alabama, and she is so boring. This girl has the personality of like plain oatmeal. Like, seriously, I can't even put a lot of clips of her in this video because she is that boring to watch. There's nothing interesting about this girl. Alabama needs hobbies that don't include cultural appropriation. Like, start a career, go back to school, read a book, make friends that aren't for an aesthetic. She has so much, but so little at the same time. And I'm genuinely not trying to be rude, but she is like clearly not the brightest crayon in the box. And it's weird because you have access to like premium education, like tutors, at the touch of a finger. And it's so crazy that, like, she's 19 but can barely articulate herself very well. Her last two brain cells are fighting to put a coherent sentence together. It's embarrassing to watch. It is. And this is why she gets taken advantage of so much. I'm serious. There was an incident with a girl named Camilla, and she is a OF model who lives in a bop house. Yes, I'm serious. Anyways, Alabama starts talking down about Camilla and how she sells her body, that she's an OnlyFans model. She has all these nasty things to say about Camilla's profession, even though her mom was a Playboy bunny. Her aunt, Kim Kardashian, obviously had that tape. And it's so crazy to watch a little girl who has never lifted a finger. She even admits to never having to work a 9 to 5, talk down about certain workers in the industry when her life is nothing but privilege. It came off very tone deaf, very nasty. Especially you, Alabama, who's doing the nitty gritty a lot of times for nothing in return but a thrown off pH balance. Like, who are you to be saying anything? And then Camilla exposes how Alabama is posting very similar OF photos and modeling on her close friends for free. For free. Seems like she has a very misogynist opinion. You could do all the nasty for free, but as soon as a woman wants to profit, you look down on it and hate. Okay. But she's a pick me. So what did we expect? What did we expect?
Look what this girl is posting on her close friends. For free. Photo free. For free. Proud to be a Nepo baby, not an OF baby.
And this just shows how Alabama can't read the room, how she's living a different reality, like a lot of privileged people. So she's proud to be a Nepo baby, not an OnlyFans baby. So her mom did OnlyFans, her aunt has done corn so that she could live a comfortable life. So she wouldn't have to do those things, even though she chooses to anyway on her own free will. So she's proud to not have to do OnlyFans, even though she does similar things for free. It's all about putting other women down while lifting herself up for the bare minimum. You didn't do anything to be a Nepo baby. Like, not only are you a Nepo baby, you didn't do anything useful, successful, or like admirable with your privilege.
Wasn't a Nepo baby, and I've never worked a 9 to 5. You're right. I've never worked a 9 to 5, and it's just not something I have to do. For me, if like you're only famous because of sex tapes and like selling yourself on OnlyFans, and like you haven't had any other accomplishments besides that, like what else have you done?
There's another instance where she really shows how slow she is. So she's live streaming with a bunch of black men, right? In her Calabasas neighborhood. And she's like pulling cards, and one of the cards says to go like ding dong ditching in the neighborhood. And of course, the black men that she's with don't want to be running up and running away from homes in her rich white neighborhood in Calabasas because it's dangerous for them. She completely dismisses them, doesn't care, calls them boring and has no regard for their struggles or recognizes her privilege in real time in 4K.
Choose a player to ding dong ditch, but they have to kick the door hardest. All right, so we should go do that, y'all.
In this neighborhood, bro, and then we get arrested, dog. We get arrested, dog, attempted burglary. Like, I ain't, you know, we black. It ain't gonna look good.
You're thinking way too deep into it.
I'm saying, but that's the problems that we be going through, man. This shit real out here, you feel me?
Next, you see how boring they are?
No, we could do it.
The audacity of her to be calling someone boring, especially because they don't feel like getting shot at or arrested. And did y'all notice how she's literally from a little white girl from Calabasas with an Atlanta accent? What type of sense does that make? Everything about her is so fraudulent and fake. Like, seriously. Down to the nails, down to the eyelashes, down to her personality, down to the hair, down to her boobs. All of it. Fake, 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 fake. The audacity of her to steal everything from Black culture, but have no regard, no care in the world for any of the struggles Black people go through. The roots, the history, none of it. It's like wanting to be a doctor, having everyone call you doctor, and getting a doctor's salary, and wearing the uniform and getting all the respect and admiration for being a doctor, but anytime a emergency happens and you need to save someone's life or do your job, you take your scrubs off, clock out, and go home. You want all the perks and advantages without doing any of the struggle. It's cringe. It's not respectable. It's phony. And on top of this, she don't even need to be live streaming and embarrassing herself and her family on the internet, because I'm not going to put this clip in because I think it's kind of distasteful. But why during this live stream in 4K on live did she spread her legs and dig in her coochie to scratch her coochie? Like, who does that? If you want to watch it for whatever reason, you can look it up. But she literally did that on live stream from not only people at home watching, but the people she's around. Like, what? There was another time where she was recording herself eating a cup of ramen noodles, and people were like, girl, you were rich. You were not eating $1.50 cup of ramen noodles in a styrofoam cup. No. See, and that's why she's unlikable, because everything she does is so performative and fake. It's already hard enough to trust and believe influencers, so when everything you're doing and saying is so disingenuous, you're gonna have a really hard time being a public figure, being in the public eye. And it's actually interesting because a lot of people who are from the hood don't actually want to be from the hood. There's nothing wrong with being from the hood. But if they could choose, it's not the lifestyle they would pick, especially over being a rich girl from Calabasas. So when people are pretending and emulating it, it doesn't make any sense. Because a lot of people who are actually living that life would not choose it. It's not an easy life. People just ultimately, including me, we just want you to be yourself. Be yourself. It's okay to be you. Accept yourself. Love yourself. Respect yourself. It's okay to be a self-aware white woman. Embrace yourself. And other people will accept and love you if you do the same. All that insecurity and mask and fakeness and facade is what led you into the situation that you were in. You feeling like you needed to take other women's men, that you constantly seeking attention, you needing the validation, all of that led you to these very poor choices. And then this is what the whole world's first impression of you was, is what Bhad Bhabie had to say about you. That's not good. That's not good. That's a lot of people's first impression of you. The most shocking part about the entire situation is how Levon, a 24-year-old man with no job, I mean, he's a SoundCloud rapper. Is that really a job? was able to pull not only Bad Baby, but also Alabama and be nothing but a complete douchebag, but still have his way with both of them. That's the most shocking part of the entire situation. Embarrassing and humiliating both of them. And I doubt he even has a personality. At the end of the day, Alabama is a 19-year-old. She still has time to develop character, become a better person, and make better choices. I don't think she deserves to be judged off of these awful decisions for the rest of her life, but she is still yet to take any accountability or responsibility for her actions. I hope moving forward in the future, she starts to learn how to become herself and utilizes a lot of the privileges and advantages that she has, and that she actually contributes something good and positive to this world.